What if the truth behind history's most feared secret society was not a tale of puppet masters, but a mirror held to humanity's deepest fears and forgotten aspirations? For centuries, whispers of the Illuminati have haunted empires, fueled revolutions, and seeped into the veins of pop culture. Their name alone conjures images of shadowy cabals, blood oaths, and a world tethered to invisible strings. But what if the real story, the one buried beneath layers of paranoia and Hollywood myth, reveals not a conspiracy, but a lost key to human evolution? Tonight, we venture beyond the rumors, beyond the viral videos and celebrity conspiracies, to unearth the true Illuminati, a brotherhood born not to control, but to awaken, a lineage tracing back to the fire of Prometheus, the vaults of Hermes Trismegistus, and an 18th century professor who dared to challenge the gods of his age. But be warned, this path demands you question everything you've been told. For the Illuminati's greatest secret isn't their power, it's yours. Let's begin. To understand the Illuminati, we must first step into the powder keg of 18th century Europe, a time when kings and clergy ruled with iron fists and freethinkers whispered in shadows. Here, in the heart of Bavaria, a flame was lit, not by demons, but by a disillusioned professor named Adam Weishaupt. May 1st, 1776. While the American Revolution brewed across the Atlantic, Weishaupt founded the Order of the Perfectibilists, later known as the Illuminati. Their mission? To dismantle superstition and corrupt power structures and ignite a revolution of the mind. But this was no ordinary rebellion. Weishaupt, a scholar of ancient Gnostic texts and Kabbalah, wove occult symbolism into their rituals, a language meant to awaken initiates to self-deification. Yet the Illuminati's roots dig far deeper than Bavaria. Their emblem, the all-seeing eye, was borrowed from the Eye of Horus, a symbol of divine omniscience in Egyptian mystery schools. Their structure mirrored the Rosicrucian Brotherhood, and their ideals echoed the Hermetic axiom, as above, so below. This was not a cabal of puppeteers, but heirs to a lineage older than Rome itself. Why has this truth been buried? Because power fears the awakened. Within a decade, the Illuminati were outlawed, and their papers seized by the Duke of Bavaria in 1785. But their ideas could not be caged. Rumors spread like wildfire, blaming them for the French Revolution, the fall of monarchies, and even the birth of modern democracy. The irony? The Illuminati's true crime was not control, but clarity. They dared to teach that institutions, not secret societies, were the real chains binding humanity. Let's dispel the first great myth. The Illuminati were not controllers of the world, but critics of it. Their true weapon wasn't gold or armies, it was knowledge. And their greatest enemy? Not governments, but the human mind's addiction to ignorance. Imagine a secret society that rejected secrecy, a cult of reason in an age of dogma. Weishaupt's inner circle operated in cells, using code names like Spartacus and Philo, not to hide, but to symbolize their break from ego. Their ranks weren't filled with bankers or celebrities, but poets, scientists, and radical philosophers. To join, you had to master a grueling curriculum: mathematics, optics, ancient languages, and the art of self-annihilation. Their conspiracy was simple: to replace kings with meritocracies, faith with critical thought, and nationalism with a global brotherhood of reason. But here's the twist: the Illuminati's real power lay in their understanding of symbolic contagion. They knew ideas, like viruses, mutate. Their eye and pyramid emblem, borrowed from Egypt's mysteries of Horus, wasn't a threat, but a test. Those who saw tyranny in it revealed their paranoia. Those who saw enlightenment, they were ready to ascend. Why do we want to believe in all-powerful puppet masters? Because it's easier than facing the chaos of a leaderless world. The Illuminati's myth exploded not because they ruled, but because they failed. By 1787, the order was shattered, its members were exiled, and its libraries burned. Yet their legacy became a blank screen onto which humanity projected its deepest fears and laziest assumptions. But what if their dissolution was intentional, a final initiation? Like the Phoenix, the Illuminati's power grew only after their death. Their symbols seeped into Freemasonry, inspired revolutions, and became the DNA of every counterculture movement since. The truth? You don't join the Illuminati, you become them when you trade complacency for curiosity and dogma for daring. Let's confront the elephant in the room. Why does the Illuminati still haunt us? Why do their symbols glitter on dollar bills, lurk in music videos, and taunt us from conspiracy forums? The answer lies not in their power, but in ours. The Illuminati are a mirror, one that reflects humanity's obsession with meaning in a chaotic world. First, let's slay the sacred cow. No, the Illuminati did not survive into modernity. Their original order died with Weishaupt in 1830, but their symbols were resurrected, first by paranoid Freemasons, then by occultists like Aleister Crowley, and finally by Hollywood. The pyramid and eye, co-opted by the U.S. founding fathers in 1782 for the Great Seal, a nod to divine providence, not secret rule. Yet this accidental rebirth reveals a deeper truth. Symbols are empty vessels. They hold only the power we choose to pour into them. Consider the darkest myth, satanic worship. The Illuminati did venerate a light bearer, but not the devil. Their Lucifer was the Latin term for Venus, the morning star, symbolizing knowledge breaking the night of ignorance. This metaphor, borrowed from Gnosticism, was twisted into heresy by their enemies. Yet today, the same fear fuels viral videos dissecting Jay-Z's gestures or Lady Gaga's outfits. Why? Because we crave narratives where someone, even demons, holds the reins of chaos. Psychologists call this projection. The Illuminati myth thrives because it lets us externalize the parts of ourselves we fear: ambition, intellect, and the hunger to disrupt. We accuse them of world domination because we're terrified of our own power to change things. This is the Illuminati's true conspiracy, not to control humanity, but to force us to confront the godlike potential we've buried. Here's the ultimate paradox. The Illuminati's real heirs aren't shadowy elites, but you. Every time you question mainstream narratives, seek forbidden knowledge, or rebel against blind obedience, you channel their spirit. Their legacy isn't a secret society, it's a state of mind, one that governments still fear. Why else would the FBI's 1943 Illuminati file warn of intellectual radicals reviving Weishaupt's ideals? Because awakening minds are weapons of mass reconstruction. The Illuminati's greatest secret? Their techniques to hack perceptions still work. You need no robes, no rituals, just the courage to wield these three practices. Let's awaken your inner Illuminatus. First, the symbolic gaze. Every day, you're bombarded by symbols. The Illuminati didn't fear them, they decoded them. Carry a notebook. When a symbol triggers you, a corporate logo, a religious icon, sketch it. Ask, does this symbol constrict my mind or expand it? Rewrite its meaning. A pyramid isn't oppression, it's a ladder of your own making. Second, mental alchemy. Weishaupt's inner circle woke at 4:30 a.m. to study while the world slept. Rise 90 minutes early for 7 days. No screens, no news. Write 2 lists. What systems have I blindly obeyed? And what could I build if they didn't exist? Burn the first list. Keep the second. Third, shadow initiation. Every conspiracy theorist fears a cabal because they haven't met their inner tyrant. Sit in darkness. Ask aloud, what power do I blame others for stealing? Let your subconscious answer. Repeat, I am the plotter and the prophet, the prison and the key. These aren't exercises, they're provocations. The Illuminati didn't want followers, they wanted rivals. So ask yourself tonight, will you curse their name or claim their legacy? So, are the Illuminati real? The answer is yes and no. They exist, not in boardrooms or bloodlines, but in the unclaimed corridors of your mind. Every time you choose curiosity over complacency, clarity over conspiracy, you resurrect Weishaupt's forbidden flame. The true, all-seeing eye was never meant to surveil, but to see deeply, to pierce illusions, to recognize that the greatest prison isn't built of stone or secrets, but of stories we no longer question. Here's your initiation. The next time you hear Illuminati, ask not who they are, but what they represent in you. A fear of hidden masters or a hunger to become one? For every myth of control, there's a truth. You were never meant to kneel. You were meant to see. If this flame still flickers in you, share it, subscribe, question, and remember, the darkest conspiracies crumble in the light of a mind that dares to burn.